Hey, how's it going? It's been a few Fridays. I've been away taking care of a little bit of holiday, a little bit of moving some family, different parts of the country. But we're back. So here we are. Hey, I wanted to relaunch this whole thing with something. I was reading an article. It was a great article that somebody wrote, and it was about doing what you love to do in life. It was very well written, and it got me thinking about writing life. I wanted to share that with you. So I don't know about you, but I have different dimensions to my writing life. I mean, we think of writing as writing, but I've got the hey, let's party, it's the weekend. That's like when I have ideas coming up in my head. I've also got the hey, honey, it's your turn to change the baby's diaper. When I've got to do things like edit myself. But this person's article gave me this chance to reflect on managing my writing life like I would my domestic life. So let's talk about it. I got four things I wanted to talk about. First is I need time to eat. You got to bring things into your body that give you energy. So for me, reading invigorates my writing. Sitting down and reading a different style or my favorite style, which is memoir, gives me a perspective to look at old ideas. So it gives me fuel. It puts it in the tank. Second, in addition to feeding myself, there's time for work, and that's the writing itself. Um, and it's treating writing like work. I mean, I don't want to get all heavy, but if I were to treat my writing as if it was just playtime, it wouldn't be as good. And it would take me 10 times as long. Okay. So another part of my domestic life is organizing, tidying up after a toddler, major clean outs like spring cleaning, which I'm doing right now, thanks to the apartment therapy 90-day challenge. So it comes to organizing. I'm thinking here about not editing, but structures and blueprints. So organizing is actually structure. Where do things go? And it's a hell of a lot easier to build something when it's been blueprinted in advance. I mean, let's get silly. If I wanted to go out and build a shed, I could get all excited. I'll say I'm going to build a shed, start slamming wood together in hopes that it would come together in some kind of useful shed. And we know that's not going to work at all. And writing isn't any different. You know, writing here, writing there, writing everywhere. It's just going to lead you to a lot of cleanup and editing. And since that's not one of my favorite things to do, I try to avoid it. And I do that by organizing it in advance. I also would put in my fourth thing, which is rest. And I don't mean like falling asleep in your notebook with drool. That's exhaustion. I mean, rest is when you say, I'm not going to write during these periods. When do you write and when do you not write? That's a good question. It's been in a little while now. I've had a clear end of day boundary and I've enjoyed it. It's been amazing because I know that once I get to that point in time, I don't feel guilty about doing other things or doing nothing at all related to work because I don't allow it in those times now. It's new. We'll see how it goes. So being thoughtful about the time I have, rest becomes kind of then a reward. Now going back to organizing, I find it very important. I also find when I talk to people, it's one of the things that comes up late in the process. It comes up as a realization that they don't have the structure and they think it would be helpful. When I was in the Air Force, it's a cool story. They always talked about, I took a tour of the fire department and they said they do get most of their work working in the communities. And I was like, why is that? And they said, because all our fires we catch in the waste paper basket, not when it's consuming the house. And I thought, oh, that's pretty awesome. I mean, still in the waste paper basket. It's not consuming. And I was thinking about that story because that's what's needed sometimes in order to get your organization straight. Keep the fire in the waste paper basket by doing the organizing up front. I know I work with people and I can work with somebody in 3 to 5 hours and we can get the entire blueprint down to a chapter and sometimes a scene level. And man, is it worth it. Because now you're writing from a set of blueprints. And what's cool about it is it's not an outline. It's not meant to constrain you. It's there to guide and help you. It kind of spurs the creative process once you know that I have to do this for the story to be engaging. So if you'd ever like to talk about blueprinting your story, so you can sign up for a free breakthrough session. We can talk about that for 20 minutes. It's totally free. I'll give you some insight as to what would be useful and what would be possible. I'll put that in the links in the notes here before I push the publish on this. And so today, thanks for hanging with me. We talked about 4 metaphors for domestic life that might help your writing life. And that was eating, the work, organizing, and resting. And I hope some thoughts came up in your mind while you're watching this that inspires you to think about your writing life and what areas are going well, what might deserve a little more time with a cup of coffee or tea and a little thought. And it's not too early to think about summer, because it's going to have an impact on a lot of people's routines. Is it going to give you more time, or is it going to give you less time? Celebrating Memorial Day here, not that far away, and it's the unofficial start to summer. So perhaps it's a new writing season for you. So again, thanks for taking time today to listen. I hope it was useful. We'll see you again next Friday. Get back in the normal routine and have a good weekend.